Hello, Ace in the Window. Thanks, Game Mike here. And hey, I found a guest co-host for today. You may have heard him on the program before. We've talked about his vlog. We've actually had him call into the program before.
Mm-hmm. That was me.
It's Other Mike.
Hi.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about you and your channel and all that. I mean, we discussed it on the phone, but for the audience watching today.
All right, well, so the channel is called LO8Grinder. It's on YouTube, youtube.com/LO8Grinder, and it's a poker vlog dedicated to the great game of Omaha High-Low. So, so that's it, my exploits in Omaha High-Low.
Of course, as a mixed game guy myself, it's one of the vlogs I like watching.
Thank you.
Over one of the games that I like to play a lot, and as I believe I mentioned before, at Rounders, we have 3 days a week. We have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a regular 3-6 Omaha game that goes, every week. And they're regulars that are there pretty much all 3 of those days every week. It's getting to the point where it's making 2 tables.
That's nice.
So that's really good for one of the Texas card rooms outside of Vegas, outside of Los Angeles, being able to find a solid Omaha game. So. It's a really good deal.
Well, I can't wait to go and visit your card room, and hopefully I get a chance to play. So if you guys are from Texas, you guys gotta go check it out. All right.
Absolutely. And we have a few things we're gonna go over. Obviously, Ace in the Window's been dark for a couple of weeks. There's been a bit of a transition as I've been out here. In Las Vegas. As you may remember, I mentioned I'm going to be dealing here at the series. So I've been busy doing that. I've been busy kind of adjusting to, life and things happening here in Vegas and trying to find, co-hosts, because I really don't want to do a monologue show where I'm the person in front of the camera the whole time. I just didn't want to do that. So I always wanted to have a co-host. So I've been able to arrange a couple. We're going to have a few coming up, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
I'm the best guy he could find.
That's definitely true. There might be a few lesser others. Hopefully they're not watching right now, right? Because I don't want them to know that.
Can I ask you about your experience so far dealing in the series?
Sure, yeah.
So, first of all, have you dealt to anyone, anyone famous that you were kind of awestruck?
Yeah, sure.
You're awestruck, oh my god, I can't believe I'm dealing with this guy.
Well, obviously inside, the exterior is always the impartial, neutral dealer, right? Obviously.
You're not I'm
gonna bet 6.
Good luck, Phil.
No, no, I can't. No, that'd be awful. You can't do that. But no, last night I was dealing the 7-card stud event, and I pushed to a table where. Both Terry King, who is a member and administrator here of the Real Grinders group. By the way, we haven't mentioned yet, we're at the Real Grinders Lounge.
On Valley View.
On Valley View.
Right next to the Rio guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's super close, right? If you're a member there, hey, come on out. And if you're not a member, hi, you need to be joining. Hello. So Terry King was at that table, and right next to her, Daniel Negreanu.
Nice.
So, what cooler, better thing could it be if you're going to deal the series to be able to deal hands to Daniel Negreanu, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
So while you were dealing, did he win a couple of pots while you were there?
He did, yeah. The half hour down that I was in there, he folded pretty much everything, but he did open with the ace of spades and took down the antes. So, hey, a win's a win, right?
Win.
Pull in some antes. It's important in stud, especially when it gets to those higher levels.
It was stud or
This
study?
was probably, no, it was just stud, high only. Yeah, so especially when it's high only, you're going to get a lot of heads up pots, and a lot of times you can take it down on the open.
Yeah.
You got a weak bring-in card, like a deuce of diamonds or something like that. You've got an ace of spades. Everyone folds. Maybe a couple people behind you. You can open with that ace of spades without too much behind it, and then you're likely to pick up the antes. And if you don't, you've got a pretty decent holding, to fight with as you draw additional cards. So.
tip for stud 8 players.
Absolutely.
Or beginning stud 8 players.
Right.
Like, I had to listen intently because I'm trying to get into the mixed games
speaking
myself.
of Daniel Negreanu, a couple of years ago, I think 2 years ago, he put out a series of basics how to play certain games. And he covered stud 8.
Stud 8 was, he said stud 8 was his favorite. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you haven't played stud 8, you're not familiar with it, you want to know more about it, Daniel has a good blog about it. It's very solid for a basics beginner course in stud 8. So it's helpful for you. If you want, go take a look at that.
But we got a lot of Daniel Negreanu like plugs in this episode.
Right, yeah. How many times are we going to say Daniel Negreanu in this blog? Daniel Negreanu. Maybe we'll tag that, yeah. Right.
Oh, you got a vlog out too.
We're fans, right?
Yeah,
what can we say? We're fans. So a couple things around the Twitterverse I wanted to look at. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. So a couple weeks ago now, since it's been a while, Doug Polk had a tweet out. It basically said...
Doug Polk's been tweeting a lot lately.
Yeah.
For someone that's retired from poker.
Yeah, from a retired guy, he's doing a lot of tweeting. Yeah, he says,
hey,
Doug. What's a word people like to use that you find really annoying?
What was your response?
There are so many... This habit of contractualizing everything into like little one-syllable words kind of drives me nuts. Words are the way they are. They're not supposed to be as short as people are making them. Yeah. There's a reason that abbreviation is one of the longest words in the English language. So, yeah, there are lots of them.
Yeah. There were some funny ones there that people were talking about in the post. And my reply was, it wasn't really a word, but I have this thing where, I guess lit is a word now that people use, and I hate it when they use the fire emoji.
Right.
For lit.
The worst part about lit is that it's a two-step. First of all, you shortened the word legitimate, which you really legitimate. It's not that long of a word anyway, but you've shortened it to lit, and then you've taken another step, and you're turning lit into a fire thing. Really?
Yeah, that's my thing. The fire emoji, I can't get behind it.
Now, it's great when it's used in a good context. Like, for example, we have all seen a Todd Brunson post where he says he's going to incinerate someone's face in a certain hand, or his face got incinerated in a hand, right, and he uses a bunch of fire emojis. That makes sense.
I can
that
get
actually
behind
ties
that
in. Yeah. I get it. Okay, it's fire tied to fire, but, we're like, it's the double step.
See, that one I can get behind, because it's Todd Brunson.
Too much. Yeah. Also because it's Todd Brunson.
Yeah, because it's Todd Brunson. I can get behind that.
That's true.
But fire emoji for lit, no.
Yeah, not so much on that one.
No.
Not so much on that one. Well, let's see. Wandering around the rest of the Twitterverse, this one came up. We talked about this one a little bit. Very interesting. You guys may not follow this person on Twitter, but she's a good follow. A lot of interesting posts. She's talking about Battlestar Galactica, and she's talking about the opening episode. Such an amazing episode in its own right, let alone as a series opener. Still shocking how bleak and traumatic it is. I felt every single one of those 239 FTL jumps. Hard to think of another show that sets the bar so high right out of the gate. And, this is a show that first aired in 2004, something like that.
Yeah, the reboot.
The second one, right? Yeah, the new one. And it ran for like 6 years.
Yeah, about 6 years.
Now, me personally, I didn't watch it until like 2017. I was looking for, I just didn't. I was watching other things on TV, and I just didn't catch it. But I watched another series on Netflix with Katie Sackhoff in it. And I was looking for other things with that actress in it because she was really interesting. Found Battlestar Galactica and went, oh, I've heard of that. Why don't I watch it? It's available on Netflix too. Hey, let's watch that. So, yeah, I watched it about 2 years ago. I mean, considering, the CGI and all that stuff was like 12 years old at that point or something like that, it still looked pretty good. I mean, you could tell there were spots that it was like, it's obviously kind of green screen cut and paste, because the shading is different in some of the black spots. But also, when it was made, you didn't have the depth of black that you have on today's modern television, so that could also explain it, blowing it up to a bigger resolution. They kind of screw up some of those CGI graphics, but it felt very impressive. I mean, this is after the new Star Trek's come out. This is after the first couple of new Star Wars have come out. I watched this, and I'm still like, this is still in the class of those types of, it's not 100% movie quality, but it's the same type of quality you saw in things like Stargate that ran for 10 years.
Stargate was great.
It was probably better than Stargate, really, because it had a lot more like battle sequences and space stuff. I mean, Stargate was more land-based,
land-based
gates kind of thing. So, but do you remember that at all? Or do you remember that?
I do remember watching the series when it came out, right? But I, like the old man that I am, I don't really remember. If you ask me about episodes and stuff, I maybe remember a little bit. But what I do remember was, like, I remember when the series came out, I remember there was like a small backlash about like how the Cylons would be portrayed.
Yeah, well, it was a little weird. They weren't the
they weren't like shiny robots. They looked like they had samurai armor on. So,
which oddly enough, that kind of thing actually came back this season in the Orville. I don't know if you watched the Orville, but basically I don't remember what they're called, but the robot people, the race of robot people are kind of like the Cylons. The old Cylons are similar, certainly more so than, Cylons that look exactly like humans.
Yeah. I remember there was a little bit of backlash, but, as the series went on, it kind of like died down.
Yeah.
And, the series was, it was pretty good for their time.
I mean, I think the story carried it past any of the controversy about Cylons not being shiny robots. Yeah. Just the story was good enough.
So Cylons were, in this universe, were like hot model looking women.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you got to sell, your programming, right? I mean,
for some reason, they were always like these hot women. I'm like,
well, that sells.
Yeah.
It's how you sell Buicks.
Yeah.
you got to sell some Buicks, and that's how you do it.
No, you mean it's not Matthew McConaughey? No, wait,
right?
no, he's Lincoln.
Oh, yeah,
he's Lincoln.
He's Lincoln. Come on.
Who's selling Buicks now?
Let's see. Oh, how about a spontaneous interview? I think that's a good time for that. Actually, before that, I'm sure you guys have been watching Rounders Live. In fact, we're at our new home today. We have left the Poker Sesh Design YouTube channel, and we are now broadcasting on the Rounders Live channel today. You may have noticed that. It's just a different location. It's not a big change. It's just that the same people that are helping me put together Rounders Live are also going to help me do some things with Ace in the Window, so it made sense to just move it over. Hopefully the Poker Sesh fan base will come over to Rounders Live and join us over here.
Sure they will.
Hey, if not, that's okay. There is still plenty of edited Lyman content back over at Poker Sesh Design. It's still there. It's not going anywhere, and you can enjoy it. So, but Ace in the Window is now going to move over to the Rounders Live channel, and we'll be here going forward. Speaking of Rounders Live, we've got several more shows in the books now. So we're going to be taking a brief break because my technical director won several tournaments at Rounders, and he is coming up to Vegas, and he's going to play a couple of events here now. Not sure if he's going to do a bracelet event or a deep stack event, but he's coming here.
This is like from Rounders,
Yeah, he will be here. He will be here. Exactly. Yep.
Trying to play Johnny Chan.
That's right. Yep. Coming up to find Chan at a table somewhere. If I bet him on one hand, get him to fold, and then walk out. All right.
Can I just tell this story really quick?
Yeah.
When I met Johnny Chan, I met him at the hallways in the Rio for the first time. He was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's Johnny Chan!"
Right?
Like he was like so busy. He's like, "All right, come on." He was like, "Hurry up, take a picture." I'm like,
right. Yeah.
The best was Scotty. I met Scotty outside of the Rio. He was pulling up. He had like, I forgot what kind of car it was. It was like a DB9 Aston Martin, whatever.
Yeah, that sounds
He comes out and he's like, "Hey, baby, yeah, I'll take a picture with you." I was like, "Oh, cool, Scotty, you're so awesome." Scotty, you are awesome. Thank you for that picture.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a pretty cool cat.
Yeah, like
I mean, you know, some of these guys, man, they're busy and they're swarming with fans all the time. So, you know, I don't blame them for being a little, you know, shut off. Like, okay, I'll take a picture. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. It's a big volume, but you know, so it's cool when you find someone who.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself.
Happier, I guess.
You got a fan girl. You got a fan girl when you meet these guys. You know, especially when I watch them on TV.
Yeah,
you know,
unless you're in the dealer box, then you just have to keep it together. Yeah. You know?
Look at his poker face.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, we mentioned Daniel Grano already. I've also dealt to David Benjamin. That was probably the first one I got to deal. That was Omaha 8 or better, I believe.
You dealt the 1500 or the 10K? The 10K was yesterday, right?
The early one, the one that was like event 3 or something like that. I think that was 1500.
Yeah, that was 1500.
Yeah. No, I didn't deal any of the.
I couldn't play that one.
Yeah. So let's see Chris Ferguson. Yeah, he was at one of my tables. Yeah.
He's kind of like he dresses a lot more casual now than how he used to dress before. But
he still got the hat.
He still got the hat. I remember when I saw him back in 06, and then I saw him again in 07. Yeah. He was wearing like the black trench coat.
Oh yeah.
You know, but you know, I don't know what he looks like now. I've seen the pictures.
He's kept pretty much the same look, you know, the beard, the hair, the hat.
But he's not.
That's what you recognize.
He's not wearing black like trench coat.
Yeah. No, I don't think anything like that. So, I actually, if you are on the Overheard at the Poker Table Facebook group, which you should also join, we want to hear all of your stories about poker at the table. Some crazy story, some silly thing someone did. We want to hear all that stuff.
All right, you know, your run-ins with poker celebrities.
Absolutely, yeah. I posted all the folks that I dealt to during the Dealer's Choice event. I sat at a lot of the tables that they were playing at. So, I listed a whole bunch of them. I wrote it down. I don't have the list with me right now, but. Yeah.
I think like dealing the mixed games would give you like the highest percentage of chances.
It definitely did, because it was probably about 12 that I found, you know, going through the dealer rotation in the Dealer's Choice event. The Hold'em events, you know, hit or miss here and there. So, okay, so we wanted to do an interview. How about our first spontaneous interview? Mm-hmm. Our special guest that we happened to run into in the parking lot.
Yeah, he's busy getting makeup on. So.
Yeah. Hey, come on over here, man.
What's going on?
How's it going?
I'm good, man.
How's it going?
How are you?
All right. For anyone who doesn't know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. I used to vlog, right? This the lens, right? Okay, I don't want to look over there. I want to look over here.
You can look either way.
Okay.
I got my one eye this way and then my other eye.
Man, how do you do that?
It's a complicated
It's a skill.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, you know, I vlog, you know, but I disappeared from the scene for a minute. You know, it's been a difficult year for me as far as poker, but it's picking back up. So, channel is Pinoy Image, you know. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may have not, but if you haven't, come check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
One of the first vlogs out there, one of the best ones too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I feel so loved.
Yeah. No, it's well done. I mean, you do a really good job.
Thank
you. You know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's good content.
Yeah.
So I miss you from the scene. So yeah. I'm sure others do too.
Yeah. So, what have you been doing? If not vlogging, man.
Man, I've been working a lot, man. You know, just working. You know, just grinding at work. And last year, you know, like I was ready to take on the series last year, right? But I played one of my first tournaments was Golden Nugget. Ran pretty decent on there, but not decent enough, you know, on the what was that, the 150K guarantee or something like that. got to like 92nd, finished 92nd, which is
that's pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But
how many runners were in there?
2,400 or something like that. Yeah, 2,400, something like that. But anyway, and then right after that, I went to the Orleans tournament, and man, I got a horrible beat over there, and I took that very, very hard. That's why I just disappeared completely. I said, you know what, let me go take a break for a minute. I think it was a good thing because this year we're doing fantastic.
Yeah, we're not. We won't spoil the your results. We'll wait for that video.
That's right.
We'll wait for that video.
Is it coming? That's the good. That's the big question.
We'll wait for the return to the vlog. That's what we want to see. The return to the vlog.
Yeah, because he already told me what happened. So like, but you guys.
Yeah, for you guys, you're gonna have to wait for the vlog.
Yeah, wait for
and
the
make
vlog.
sure you watch it.
And you know what? Tweet at him. Make sure he remembers to put out that vlog.
Yeah. Make sure he knows that you want to see it. Make sure he knows you want to see it. Absolutely. Yep. Hey, what's this T-shirt you're wearing?
Oh man,
tell me a little bit about this man.
This is my buddy.
Get up in the camera. Get up in the camera.
He's an awesome guy, a Canadian Filipino, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? So
Filipinos in Canada? Are you sure they're Filipinos in Canada?
MILP, which stands for Me I Love Poker, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it's like the way he explains it. You'll have to get on the Real Grinders, right?
Absolutely.
You got to get on the Real Grinders Facebook.
Anyway. Yeah.
If you're not already, get on the Real Grinders Facebook, and then you will find out about MILF Man.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm going to tell you about.
A regular poster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Regular poster.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Provides
regular content.
Yes.
Loves poker.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. Absolutely. Cool deal. Well, tell us, let's see, you've been playing a little bit recently. Any odd stories from the poker table? Something crazy you noticed happen? Anything strange a player did?
Oh my goodness, you were right.
Any fights? Anybody run through the poker room naked?
Yeah, crazy stuff. Out of line.
There was one. There was at the MGM, right? I was playing 1-2 over there just a few nights ago, and I was just sitting there, just being tight, basically. And I seen these two guys from corner to corner. They were signaling each other.
Okay.
Ooh, I spotted that.
That got me tilted.
Oh
that got me tilted, and then I finally verified it.
Like seat 3, seat 8 kind of thing.
Kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
And there was the board read 6-6 king, right? And then the turn was a 6. And then this guy, I kept on looking at him, paying attention to him because he played so slow, right? I thought it was just, he was just Hollywooding, right?
Yeah.
But the whole time he was waiting for his buddy to give him a signal. And dude gave him a signal and said, I got it. You know what I mean?
I got the 6.
Right.
Yeah.
He did this number right here.
Yeah.
At first he was giving him a signal like this, right? And then I told the dealer, look, listen, you might want to watch these two right here, right?
Oh, so you brought you?
I brought it up, and then I got up, and then I told the floor, watch those two right there, man.
Yeah.
Play the camera back.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Is that why you're leaving?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You want to go to another table?" I said, "No, I'm too tilted right now. I'm leaving."
Yeah.
That's what I did. That's one of the interesting stories. So.
Wow, that's
Definitely
Man.
you definitely got to watch out, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just there's a lot of people out there that try to take advantage and whatever, right? That's why you have to be vigilant.
You always got to pay attention. Yeah. Always have to pay attention.
Yeah, put that iPad down.
Oh, man.
Stop watching your movie.
Yeah,
right?
Don't hold up the game. Just watch.
I agree.
Yep. Watch and pay attention because you will learn so much stuff.
Absolutely.
So much stuff.
Every
if you see guys, doing like this, right? It's
flashing gang signs at the table. Come on. That's not.
I mean, all right. For you guys, if you guys want to cheat, be creative with your signs. Just go like this,
Right.
Like I got the 8.
So I mean, what he did was probably like, just a warning. You know what I mean? But I would never sit there, with those two.
Yeah.
Play against those two doing that. I play poker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to play poker. You see what I'm saying? So it's just it's not something that I would want to venture into.
Yeah.
That's why I left right away.
Yeah, it's probably better to.
Yeah.
if you can't get the floor to get them to stop or separate.
Well, I didn't even give it a chance.
Like that, just
I didn't even give the floor a chance to you know what I mean, correct it. I don't know if they did corrected it after I left, but I left right away because I know like something like that would tilt me right away because you know what I mean. It's like I want to play poker. I consider it as a game. I want to play.
Or I caught this one. What else is going on that maybe I missed?
Absolutely.
Right.
Right. I don't know how often they played. You know what I mean? So,
since we're sharing some, catching cheaters, right? I have a story. This was, I want to say, late 2000s. I was playing at the Borgata. I think it was 2-5 at Borgata.
Yeah.
It was a weird time because me and my buddies, I was still living in Chicago at the time, and we just decided to, out of the blue, we're like, hey, let's just drive to Atlantic City. So out of the blue. So 14 hours later, we're in
a long drive.
We're in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And then because I always wanted to play at the Taj.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So
of course,
I got to play at the
Johnny
Taj.
Chan.
I'm looking for people. I saw people there, but no Johnny Chan. But anyway, so we end up in Borgata, and I'm playing at the table, and I was playing, and then a couple of like Middle Eastern guys, 3 of them sat at my table, and the whole time they were talking to each other in their language, right? And the dealer wasn't doing anything about it, and I'm like, English, you guys got to talk English. And there was one hand where I remember I had kings, obviously the hand played out as you would if you had kings, but the way the hand played out, I had to fold because I thought. I was beat because there was like an ace and a flop or whatever. But these 3 guys were always in the hand, and they were always talking to each other during the hand. Mm-hmm. And I thought that there was like some collusion going on. And like you, I got up, and then I told the floor, and they were like, same thing. Do you want to get into another game? I said no, because if you guys are not spotting this, then
what else is being missed? Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
I mean, this was a long time ago. I don't know if. But that's my story.
That's pretty nutty, though. Yeah. I mean, it's just, but you got to be vigilant. You got to watch out.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I try not to be rude, because like, what if they're from out of town and they don't really speak English, right? But then you don't be the
same. Hey, that's why it's a rule. That's why it's a rule.
So, but
and those 2 guys, that's what they were doing too. They were speaking their language.
Yeah,
they were from India, right? Yeah, they were speaking their language, and then I didn't say nothing about it because I didn't, just like what he said. I don't want to be rude. I thought they were just giving speak a word here and there in their language, during a hand. So I was like, it's probably nothing big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they did give them a physical signal, that's when I just blew up. I was like, nah, that's it. It's over. It's just, it makes no sense. Yeah. And then I was watching him. I was paying attention to him. He was on the chair. He was doing this right here. He was doing this right here. I'm like, I was waiting.
Baseball signals.
And then eventually he gave him a signal. It's like, I was like, and then
as soon as he went like this, the other guy's like the third base coach. He's like, all right, come in.
That's right.
Slide, motherfucker.
Seesaw raise.
Let's slide.
And it was a big hand too. You know what I mean? It was like it was a big bet. It was a big bet by another player, and I told the other player that he was against him. I told him,
obviously.
I told him, watch those guys, man. I'm telling you, it's like it's a big hand. I'm not going to tell you what he signaled to him, but watch them guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. I remember speaking of the English to the table. There's a home game in San Antonio that used to run in with several Persians who would attend, and often they would talk in their native language, right? The dealer there.
Plus, it's a home game, so you feel like
it feels like you should be able to, but the dealer was a good one. The way he handled it was he would say, my language skills are a little broken, but it sounded like you just said, you go low and I'll go high.
Mm. Wow.
Right?
Wow. Yeah.
And of course, he has no idea what they said at all.
Yeah.
He's just saying that because I can't understand you and no one else can, we don't know what you're saying. You might be saying that, although you probably aren't, but please use English only at the table so that everyone knows that, yes, you're only talking about your daughter's wedding, or yes, you're only talking about, business matters or whatever, that kind of thing. So everyone knows for sure that that's what's going on, and it's not, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
you raise and I'll raise again, that kind of thing,
That's amazing.
because you don't want any of that stuff. So he handled it pretty well.
He's like,
You throw it in with a little humor, and you're like, all right, okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that kind of pans out
that's
pretty
crazy.
well. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, cool. Well, let's see. There was one other thing I wanted to look at here.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
you can-
if you got another thing, because I got around 12:30, I got I got to get going, but
Okay.
it's awesome. I'm pleased to be here.
Yeah, thanks for
Okay,
stopping
well,
by.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You got other
So-
things to get to? Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see me around though. I'll be around the
Absolutely.
Rio.
Yeah, he'll be vlogging, guys.
We'll be grinding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Well, thank
We'll see
you very
later.
much. We
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Hey,
All right.
pleasure meeting you guys.
Hey,
all right.
Absolutely. So two other tweets caught my attention that were really cool, and that was this tweet from Jean Gluck from the Bicycle Casino.
Mm-hmm.
She's announcing new $10 chips at the bike, right? I mean, there's going to be used for their 4080 Hold'em game for sure. And I think they have. Well, I'm sure the 2040 mixed game probably still uses the yellow $5 chips, but yeah, their 4080.
So is that it? The one in the picture right there?
Yeah, that's their staple chip, or that's their staple game. I mean, so that's a nice new addition, and I believe that there was another picture she may have shown that I think they were more like, I don't know if they were Paulson's, but I think they're not. The standard bicycle chip.
Yeah, show them your chip collection.
Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of chips we're going to talk about here, but the standard bicycle chip is like this. This is the $3 version, right?
Okay.
It's kind of, it's kind of got this plastic feel to it.
Oh yeah.
It's lighter weight. I think it's 9.5 grams.
There you go.
So
See that?
it's a pretty cool chip. It's very functional. Those are actually a lot like the Rounders Card Club tournament chips. Are a lot like that. Not exactly, because these have a little bit of an inlay, and you can feel a texture difference. Whereas the Rounders ones, I don't have them with me, of course, but they are more like. Let's see if I have one. The Gardens. No, the Gardens has a texture on it too. Which one was I thinking about? Oh, the Link. Yeah, this is a good example. The flat ceramic.
Oh yeah.
Right, where there's no indentation of any kind. There's just flat. Although they're more plastic-like too.
Yeah.
So. But it's high durability, high use. I mean, those tournament chips, they're not like the cash chips.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting a high volume of use.
I like
every
the
day,
fact that
so.
the size is it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, those, oddly enough, I've got a chip collection holder. The Link one doesn't fit in it because it's just a little too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little too big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just like by millimeter,
Slightly, yeah,
but it
yeah,
just
slightly.
doesn't fit. Yeah, it's kind of odd. So, some other chips that are like that, I found Ocean's 11 has the top hat and cane. Paulson.
Oh, there we go.
Those are good.
Look at that, guys.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good example. The MGM. This is MGM National Harbor. That's another top hat and cane. That's a very classic.
It's probably not the one.
Now, this is an old throwback here. This is a real. I mean, these were like so old, but the Bill's Gambling Hall and Saloon. Right, you guys remember that? I'm sure if you're in Vegas, that is now been redone, remodeled, and is. What's that thing called now?
It's shoot, I'm so bad.
It's got Rachel Ray's restaurant in it. Cromwell.
There you go,
Cromwell. Yeah.
I was such a bad Vegas native.
And sadly, one of the reasons that I'm probably not going to go there is because they don't have a poker room anymore. They got rid of it. So,
They don't.
I walk by it, but I don't go in.
Yeah.
I'm a poker guy, so that's just how that goes. Let's see, who else has one like that? Oh, Aria doesn't have the branded top hat and cane, but they've got some of the best chips available on the strip. And they are a great chip. They're definitely that nice clay hardy chip.
Oh yeah,
so
it does. Very nice.
Some people try to do it and then they don't quite get it. Like we have a Hooters and a Hooters. One Hooters is like a lightweight chip and the other is like that ceramic, and you can just tell the difference. They did screen printing on the ceramic and it just doesn't look very good. But look for ways to save money, right?
Yeah.
Durable though, SA Card House. This is in San Antonio, and it's got that screen print. It's a durable ceramic chip with screen printing on it. It feels Gardens in Los Angeles also has that kind of same plastic kind of feel that the bike has. Now this one's interesting. Cowboys Card Club, which has since closed in Austin. They had you can just feel it. It's injection molded plastic, but they made it look like one of the Top Hat and Cane type of designs. I mean, they put designs around here. They did the stripes. I mean, there's a whole thing that they did a pretty good job of making it look like, but you can still feel the difference.
Yeah, it does.
Post Oak Poker Club in Houston. You've heard of them in the news recently. On the bad side of the news, they have the composite ceramic, and it's a pretty good design. Pretty good weight to it. So, Harris also pretty good. They're pretty solid. So, I like those kinds of chips that are like the Aria. And my impression was, based on her post, it looks like they've gone with something like that for their $10 chips. Hopefully, I'm going to be visiting there maybe next week.
Oh,
and
really?
See how those chips hold up. We'll see, right? In a similar note, the Hammer also posted that the Commerce got $25 chips. So I've got actually a $25 chip from the Commerce in my collection at home, just because they decided to use purple, and purple's my favorite color. And hey, when I played at Commerce, I played the 1500 PLO with a rock game. So the $25 chip was the dollar chip for that game. So I took one home as a souvenir.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. I don't have it with me today because it's up. It's in a case kind of thing. So these are the loose ones that are extras, which is why I have them out. But yeah, that's another really nice looking chip. It looks like it's a good quality one of these type of clay composite chips with an inlay. And it definitely, the marking on it,
it's very clear.
It's bigger and clearer than it used to be.
Yeah, you could tell. Okay, this is a $25 chip, because like some of the other chips,
it's more obscure.
Yeah, it's a little bit more obscure. You can't really.
You really just know by the color.
Yeah,
like that Ocean's 11 one. Pull that one back out. It was like the second one.
There you go.
Like, you look at this. I mean, I'm looking in the middle, right, for like what this thing could be, right, and. Of course, it's on the edges, so it's on these outside edges. Like, okay, you mostly know it by the color, though.
The MGM is a little obscure.
Yeah, it's obscure because they put it over
black,
a picture,
right? So
they put black over a picture that's got a lot of black in it.
Yeah, so but it's a red chip, so it's a 5.
Exactly.
But,
Australia.
Well, yeah, everywhere but California. California, always got to be different. Yeah. They're $5
screw everybody
yellow. Yeah, whatever. Hey. Oh, any other interesting things you've noticed about chips, or?
No, we can move on.
You have any chips you like? Let's see. I think the only other thing I wanted to do is maybe do one additional interview. If we had time, let me see if we have any willing participants. Still recording there. Do you want to do an interview?
Yeah, let's do that.
Come on over.
Why don't you read the back cover?
Sure.
Just to get a little background before we do it. We got to do one with Tina too, as the host of the Real Grinders Lounge. Hey, I'm building up your following.
All right, so we're going to have coming in here in just a minute Matt Stevens, who is the author of Poker World. Right, we have him in-house right now. So this book is available at the Real Grinders Lounge. And, of course, you can pick it up at booksellers as well. So, let's see. Oh, we have a serial killer in L.A., Las Vegas, Biloxi. Yes. And a struggling poker player is caught in the middle of it.
Oh.
Aha. Okay.
Gripping.
All right. Well, that's pretty exciting. Cool. Well, let's welcome to the show Matt Stevens.
Sorry about my appearance.
Hey, how's it going?
I just did my laundry up by the Red Rock.
Yeah, Matt got surprised by us doing a show here. He did not know we were doing a show when he came in today. So
And this is how we like to do it. Spontaneous.
But I like spontaneous, so that's all right.
My
So-
middle name.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself and
Let's hold
hey,
up the
tell us
book
about
here.
your book. Oh, absolutely.
Well, I spent 10 years, probably the most significant 10 years of the last 50 in Los Angeles as a TV reporter at KNBC and KCAL from 1985 to 1995. And that was about the time, I think 83 or 84 was about the time the card clubs came into existence there in LA.
Sure, yeah.
And the Bicycle Club, the Commerce, the Bell Club, some other ones. By the time I got there, there were a couple of years, into their run, and so I played a lot of cards there. I, played cards with a lot of the guys that are still pretty famous today, and they weren't quite as famous back then. And I left LA in '95. Went to Philadelphia for work, and
Hey, Philly.
yeah, Philly, let's go. And but that was the year that I started to write this book,
okay.
actually.
All right.
And it's been that many years in the making.
Okay.
It started out as a present day piece, and now it's a period piece.
Now it's a period piece
from
right.
1995.
Yeah.
But it's a good read. It's fiction with a lot of truth in it, as most good fiction is. And but it's about some of the stuff that used to go on, obviously embellished a bit because of the nature of the genre.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good read. It's about there's a lot of insight about the card clubs back then,
Mm-hmm.
and about what was going on in Vegas too. And the protagonist is a guy who went to well, I can't give it away. I don't want to give it away. Okay.
So did you find that stepping away from the LA scene and writing the book, as you say, like you were in Philadelphia, did you find that stepping away from the scene helped you write the book? Looking at it from an outside in?
Yeah, it kind of, it just, my life kind of got in the way of writing this thing. And I actually wrote the other one that I have out right now. It's called A Season in Pluto. And you can find that Pluto's a fictional town in Ohio. But you can find that one on Amazon.com. This one is everywhere. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, everywhere. Real Grinders Lounge at a discounted price. But
Another reason to come on into the Real Grinders Lounge, so make sure you do that.
I actually put this one I kept putting this one on hold and putting this one on hold. I remember I was covering a big trial in Philadelphia of a guy. His name was Tom Capano. And Capano was a high-powered lawyer in Wilmington, Delaware, and he was accused. He had an affair with the scheduling secretary of the governor of Delaware, whose name was Tom Carper, and she was a younger woman, and he was married, and there was a big affair going on between the two of them, and then he became this stalker after she dumped him. and he ended up with the help from his brother taking her out on a boat in the Atlantic Ocean and killing her, and putting some heavy rocks in them, and down she went. So I remember covering this trial. He was found guilty and then was murdered in prison years later. But sitting on the floor with the other reporters while they were everybody was taking their notes and writing their stories for the day or whatever, and I was half writing my story about the trial and half writing this book, trying to get it get it going. But I ended up having 3 children, and their sports and all this stuff, and everything just kind of got in the way. And finally, once the kids were all gone and in college and everything, and I got the other book out of the way, I finally finished this thing and got it out last year, and I've been happy to have good reviews on it.
Well, big deal.
Poker players seem to like it, like the poker part.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, just the scene of poker in the early '90s is so different than today. It's just interesting to take a look back.
It is, and that was before there wasn't any online stuff.
No,
As a matter of fact,
there was barely any no limit hold'em. I mean, it was mostly limit hold'em still, right?
It was almost everything was limit. I don't think anybody played no limit in the clubs at all. We used to play. I used to play 15-30 stud, 20-40.
I was gonna say it was mostly stud.
20-40 high-low split. The 20-40 games were good. We used to go over to the Commerce and play the 40-80 stud with those brown chips, the $10 chips. And the big boys would come to town, for the tournaments, for the big tournaments there at the bike and play, whatever they wanted, higher games. And I remember playing in a $300-$600 low ball game one time, by accident. I'm like, I'll play, and then they're like, you're the big blind, 600. Played one hand, won it, and got dealt it. I think I got dealt a 2, 3, 4, 5, not 7, but an 8. I got dealt an 8-5.
That's not bad.
In the big blind, and won the pot for about 3,200. Realized that I was in way over my head in this game, and
because you're not going to be dealt 8-5 every time.
Stood up, pretended I got called into work, tossed the dealer a $100 chip, and racked him up.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
I know, that was fun.
I love to stay, guys.
Wow, yeah, I'd love to stay, but work calls. What can I do?
Yeah, I would have gone away real fast.
Oh man.
But so we're here this week for a couple of weeks and playing. I've had 2 small cashes and out of 6 tournaments, but nothing.
What events did you play?
I made the second day of that 350 down at the Nugget, the first one.
Okay.
And I'm not really, I'm more of a mixed game player than a Hold'em player, but I'm good at Hold'em. I just don't love it, I read books and watch TV while it's going on because I'm not very imaginative with my game. I play aces, kings, queens, jacks, ace, king, ace, queen. Yeah, it's about
none of the king 8 suited stuff.
You send me anything ace 10 or less, and I'm not I'm not going to be there. So if I'm in the hand, I got something. And I don't play pairs lower than 10s. Once in a while, a pair of 9s I'll play. I see these guys firing, with 2 6s, and I could never do that.
Yeah.
I mean, really, anything that flops over a 6, didn't you lose? Right. Didn't somebody have some of that?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But, so I finished 86th or something, got $758.
That was at the 350 at the
Nugget, yeah. And, but we were at a disadvantage. Well, Tatiana, Tatiana? Fox from Australia. She's a grinder. She's a friend of mine. We were both in that 9th flight, the last flight, and it was a 7 p.m. start. And there were 661 players or something, so they played it down. They played it down to 10%. So by the time there was 66 left, it was 4:15 in the morning, and the restart was at noon.
Yeah.
I got like 3 hours sleep. Right. She came back.
I'm surprised you slept. You could have screw it.
I mean, it was really, I know it was hard. And she came back too, and I ended up 86. She ended up 20th. I mean, she had a chance to win. At one point, she had like 1.6 million chips or something.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's definitely enough. I don't think I ever had over 204,000. So I just kind of grind away, and hit the board.
Yeah, try to get to the cash point and then see what happens.
Yeah, and then see what happens. I mean, I did the same thing with in the Omaha High-Low. I mean, I think that we started out with 15,000. I don't think I ever had more than 28 or less than 12, and got all the way to the top 20, and never really. And then finally get dealt double suited aces and fire away, and some guy beat you with a 7 high straight or something. But anyway, so I'm happy that people are responding well to this book, and I've got my next one cooking already, so that's good.
That's good to hear.
Good deal. Yeah, well, we'll be excited for the next one.
I found myself a new character out of them. That's why I stay downtown. I look for characters out on Front Street.
A couple characters.
Since I write murder mysteries with serial killers in them, you're always looking for some victim out there. I found a good one this week.
Yeah.
You could have an audition.
Yeah, I mean,
plop a chair. All right, tell me your story.
Yeah,
I mean,
would you like to be a victim in my next book?
Right. That's right.
I'll use your name.
Yeah.
And you think you've heard it all, and you just haven't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like poker. You think you've seen it all.
You think you have, and
occasionally they show you something you've never seen before.
I've not seen that before.
And Vegas is the perfect conduit for that kind of that kind of conversation. Let me tell you, blank, 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 and it's like.
Yeah, it really is. But that's what makes it great. That's what makes it such an interesting place. And so, what else you want to talk about?
Any wild and crazy stories that you have from the poker table? Out of line activity from some player?
Poker stories. There's a couple of good ones in here.
Yeah,
and they're kind of true. There's one that I remember years ago. There was a fellow who's a older guy, probably 60-something, an Asian guy, didn't speak any English, was playing in the 1530 hole, limit hold'em, and all of a sudden there was a voice that was coming from over the rail, a woman's voice, and she comes down the steps at the bicycle club, and she's screaming and yelling, and this guy doesn't even look up like he knows who it is, and she gets right over his shoulder and yelling at his ear, and finally he looks up from his cards. It's his wife. she's screaming at him, telling him to get, what are you doing?
Right.
And
why are you still there?
There was
another
Chinese person standing. It wasn't in the game, standing nearby, who was translating to the floor man what was taking place, because he's like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
So the translator said that she was angry with him because he had gambled away their whole business. Apparently they owned a couple of liquor stores down in Chinatown or something, and that he had the gist of it is part of the story here. One of the scenes in the book is that one of the other players says, "How the hell can you lose $500,000 playing 1530 hold'em?" And the other guy goes, "Well, he's been in here every day losing 500 a day. Figure it out, 500 a day times 365 times 4 years, $500,000.
Yeah,
there you go."
And finally the floorman said, "Well, you got to go, because she's not obviously not going to leave, and I'm not going to call you." Right. So finally the guy gets up and he leaves his chips and walks away, and never to be heard from again. I don't know if they even they probably racked him up for him, and put him in his account or something. But that was a pretty bad one.
That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was at I saw on the website. On the Grinders Facebook page that somebody was talking about a big fight they saw at I think it was Bally's
At Bally's? Wow.
in Atlantic City.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no, was that the other?
Yeah.
There was a Taj, and then people played. Was it at Bally's? Right.
There was one that was it was a couple of weeks ago, where there was a big fight at Talking Stick. Apparently.
Yeah, I think that's why they were talking about this
yeah.
one, and I recalled it because I didn't see the fight, but I remember walking in there, like 45 minutes after it was over.
Yeah.
And I saw that it was like the poker room was like this war zone. It was shattered bottles everywhere, and the cops were all over the place. And I'm like, guess I'm not going to be playing any cards tonight. And then the guy explained, they had a little altercation in here. Yeah, I guess that was one of the.
Yeah, we're trying to dry the champagne here. Hold on.
That's right. Yeah.
Gosh. So anyway, this is a great group, and I've met so many really fine people. At least they seem to be fine. I don't know, they're gamblers, so they're probably not as fine.
Well, yeah, I mean they're gamblers, they're poker players. Hey, that's the group. That's the group. So, yeah.
Well, thanks you guys for showing the book. I appreciate it. And
sure.
This is published by Outskirts Press, outskirtspress.com/pokerworld. You get probably the best price. Barnes & Noble's a little high. Amazon's a little high. Real Grinders, you can get it for $15, which is about as low as it goes. Mm-hmm. And or
good deal.
Ask me for one. I'll pull one out of my trunk. Probably
there you go.
Hand it to you. But it's a good read, and I appreciate your patronage, and that'll keep me writing the next one, which should be out next year sometime. Maybe by the time this rolls around again next year, we'll be talking about the new one.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We've already set up the next interview for next year.
There we go.
2020.
Right. We got another interview next year then.
Thanks, everybody.
Right, well, thank you very much for your time, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks for having me. All right. Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, well, that sounds like a good book. I'm definitely going to have to read that because I've mostly switched to the Nook, but, I make a few exceptions here and there. That's kind of a cool looking book. So
yeah.
You know who designed that cover? My daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does she work in in design or something, or
she's kind of a digital web wizard. Yeah, she works at an advertising agency.
Okay,
and does a lot of that kind.
That's pretty good.
Cool deal.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way she did. She did my other one too. I'll show you my other one. She did this cover. We took the blood off that one, but let's see, Amazon.
Oh, hey, while we were talking about chips earlier, I wanted to show this one because it's an unusual bit, and this is my first visit to Vegas. Luxor was still using metal coins for dollar chips, and that I still have one because that was kind of one of the most interesting things I'd seen.
There's the other one. Look at that.
That's
a softball.
They don't use that anymore.
It's called,
oh, yeah, okay.
That book's called A Season in Pluto. It's about a guy.
Okay.
50.
That's a great cover, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. And it used to have blood running down the softball, and then the publisher thought that was a little much.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, this one's got blood all over. But it's about a 50-something-year-old guy who loses his job, and his wife dies, and he takes a job as a high school softball coach out in the corn in Ohio. And as soon as he gets there, he finds out that his second baseman, this 17-year-old girl, her mother's been missing without a trace since she was in the 6th grade. And then about a week later, there's this miraculous discovery of her bones. They do the DNA out in some abandoned building in Cleveland, and then the guy gets employed by the lawyer to help work on it. And so now if he went from I got nothing to do and my wife's dead to I'm in the middle of a murder mystery and I'm coaching a girls softball team, just like that. And then it ends up in Vegas, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Goes to Vegas. Parts of it, so. But that's pretty good too. So if you guys like to read. Okay.
Cool deal.
Oh, what happened there?
Oh, looks like I'm running out of battery on that one.
All right, I got to run. I got to go to Planet Hollywood and cash my bet on the Phillies yesterday.
You did.
Yeah, 236 to win 200. I hate betting that tall pitcher, but he seems to win. What's his name?
Well, I'm not actually a fan.
Oh, you're not a Phillies fan?
No, my wife. Whenever we go somewhere, she loves buying baseball hats.
That's a great hat.
You know, so when we were in Philadelphia, because we went to Delaware, and we flew in Philly. We were in Magnolia, Delaware. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah.
So we flew into Philly, got a car and drove out there. And then on our way back, she's like, "Oh, we gotta buy a hat." I'm like, "Of course, we gotta buy a hat." So we don't. So we buy our own hats. So I'm like, I like this one.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you can have that. Like
those hats, one of the ones that don't change. Tigers don't change. Cubs don't change. Phillies don't.
I'm from Chicago, so I got Cubs. I got Sox. So.
Oh, you're from Chicago. We used to go to Chicago. I grew up in Muskegon, Michigan, right here.
Oh, okay.
You know, and Chicago, just as close as Detroit. So we used to go to the Cubs games and the Sox games more than we went to the Tigers.
Yeah, no, like I lived up in the north side, so
you were a Cubs
fan. But then, like after we moved from Chicago, I was like, I want to rep the White Sox.
I'll catch him another time.
My favorite baseball. I was a baseball player. I played in college. Played 2 years in the minors.
No, it's all right.
Greatest game I ever went to was at Wrigley with it was the Cubs and the Pirates. Must have been like 1968 or something. It was.
Yeah, that was before my time.
It was. The Pirates beat the Cubs 16-14.
Ooh.
Ernie Banks 2 home runs. Roberto Clemente 2 home runs. Billy Williams 2 home runs.
Wow.
Ron Santo a home run. There was Gene Alley hit 2 home runs for the Pirates. It was like 14 homers, 30 runs. It was the wind obviously blowing out. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And all these guys there must have been 12 Hall of Famers in the game. You don't see that.
No.
Because all those guys, Willie Stargell, all those guys were playing, on the same team for 10 years at a time.
Yeah.
Just never happens.
Yeah. No, not in baseball, though.
So, all right, you guys have a great day.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
And thanks for the free publicity.
Sure. Absolutely.
Got to grab some more patches so I can give them some free publicity.
Oh, I'll grab a patch too. I'll wear it when I post my video up.
Cool. Well, I think all we're doing basically just wrap up real quick.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up.
So again, thank you to Mike for coming in to be co-host today. Certainly appreciate that. And thank you for the Real Grinders Lounge.
Thank you to the Real
Raymond
Grinders Lounge on Valley View.
Yep, absolutely. We appreciate.
Should we get like the
Real Grinders Lounge and Raymond Davis for being willing to let us use this space. We certainly appreciate it. I originally wanted to do this show, from the Rio, but the Rio is very tight with being able to do video anywhere in there, and also it's a total madhouse. The audio would be absolutely terrible.
Even in the I know they have like a players' lounge. Even there is like,
there's a players' lounge.
Didn't they? Don't they have? I know they had one last year.
I don't know. There's like. I have no idea.
Because I haven't been to the Rio yet.
There's the WSOP Cafe. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's the lounge.
Maybe you could hang out there or something. But yeah, they're just they're pretty tight on not having video going. So it would look a little obvious if we set up a camera and a laptop and we're standing in front of it talking. Someone might be tipped off that we were videotaping. So.
Oh, with this?
Filming. Taping sounds so old. I feel like I'm in VHS days. What do they call it these days?
I don't know.
No.
Recording, I guess. Recording sounds new age. I don't know.
Vlogging. We're vlogging. I don't know.
Vlogging.
So, thank you so much to Real Grinders, Raymond Davis, and we hope that you enjoyed today's Ace in the Window, and we will see you again on Monday. We're going to have another show on Monday. So we'll see you then. Bye.
All right. Bye.
One of these days I'll make this smooth.